This interview is with Skylar Farr. I would refer to him as a master weaver.
Getting there, yeah.
Getting there. On the edge because he seems to be so inventive. Right now he's going to explain to us the difference between tapestry and bound weave, even though they're all from the same family. Skylar.
They're both forms of weaving. Okay, a tapestry, essentially, the string does not go all the way across the length of the piece. The weft string only goes from here to here, then it is pulled out and it goes from here to here, and then it goes across. So it takes 3 times as long to make one row in a tapestry than it does for just a normal standard loom controlled weaving. In this loom controlled weaving, my threads go all the way across, which allows a much faster weave. You can weave quite a bit faster with this. This piece I have 12 hours into, probably. This piece I have 90 hours into.
Now, normally on a tapestry, would you be dealing with a different weight of yarn or material, or could we do something in a heavier fiber that would also be considered a tapestry?
Yeah, absolutely, you can.
So the word tapestry really refers to 2 things. The fact that it's done in more of a color block, not stitch, but a color block, am I correct? And it stops and moves on. So from gray to red to gray, and so on and so forth. And then you said the other point of a tapestry is that they would be the same on the other side.
Exactly. The color is the same on both sides. With a bound weave, let's go over here to this bound weave. With a bound weave, the patterns are not the same on each side.
Let's take a closer look at that.
See?
All
and
right.
on the other side, it's a totally different pattern.
So you almost look like you have a completely different composition.
They're negatives of a sort. They're negatives of each other. Because even though my red only shows up here, that red thread is still going all the way across the length of the loom.
Now, for a collector, this could be a real advantage because both sides are completed compositions, and they would have the ability over the years to love it in one direction, maybe turn the direction and turn it over.
Absolutely.
And the other thing is they're not always, they don't always have to remember that they're just for the wall, that they're beautiful hangings.
Bound weaves can very readily be used as a rug in your home. I mean, I use several of them in my house. They're soft. They're really thick. The amount of wool that you put into a bound weave rug is quite a bit more. There's almost 2 to 3 times as much wool in this bound weave piece as in that tapestry piece, which there's more material in a bound weave rug, but they're more durable in the same way. That tapestry you would never put on the ground. It's hanging. The Navajos, 99% of everything the Navajos do is tapestry. It's done on frame looms. It's much slower. It doesn't move nearly as fast. Some pieces people will work years on one single piece.
And I think of you, and the storyline's going to come later about the generation to generation and your passion, but the fact that you have really been more inventive in the craft to bring it to an art form. So when I look at your pieces, I see not even a functional piece of art. What I'm really seeing is just fine art in color composition, but to add to that, in the same value as you would say a painter is using a heavy palette, you have the advantage of creating these beautiful textures against your color composition. So I see if the public continues to turn on and they realize that these make fabulous pieces to hang instead of paintings.
They're very vibrant. They're very. I've learned. My mom has helped me a lot with being able to use color combinations. From all of her stuff that you've seen, she's very, very good with her colors, and it's rubbed off on me. I mean, some of my earliest memories were being on the bottom of one of these big looms, like a jungle gym, climbing around in the bottom of it. And so I've been immersed in weaving most of my life. I've gone and done other things for a time, but I've always seemed to come back to weaving.
As most artists do, so that they can survive because they have to live their passion.
Absolutely. And now, for the past 5 years, I've been full-time weaving.
Well, it's exciting for textile collectors, and what I'd like to see now are really fine art gallery spaces in major art cities doing more shows with textiles to give collectors an option of how to utilize a new medium to perhaps them an ancient medium that's really kind of new to these big contemporary homes and mindsets. I think it's really exciting, and I'm really glad that my company could be associated with not only the story, but the real quality and the real innovation that I see here.
I love doing it. For me, it's
your life.
It's joy. I mean, there's like everything. There's moments when we don't want to do it, but for the most part, I couldn't have a better job.
That's great.
Yeah.
So, I next would like to do a little segment where we talk about some of the looms.
Okay.